maso. Hello. So, I have an unusual idea, as you can probably tell from the title and thumbnail. So my idea is, and I'm still setting things up a little bit actually, like making sure I have all the correct tabs and stuff open. Okay. So let me first make sure RPGmaker is working, because that was something I tested a bit before streaming. Is it working? Okay. Seems to be. I think there's a bit of a delay between me opening one of these and it actually appearing. And sometimes two cursors appear on screen at once, but other than that, I think it works. So, this window, MS Paint. Okay. So, here's what I'm doing. So Miro on Blue Sky said, well, somebody asked, are you going to add a super secret ultra obscure Easter egg that people wouldn't even know about for months? Miro said, dunno, people tend to data mine the game day one, so it's hard to say what remains a secret and what not. Although in the current public version of Termina, there is something that I think is not widely known. At least I haven't seen anyone mention it, despite the build being 2 years old. And so some people, hello to chat, I guess. Some people have started looking into it a bit. And Miro has said, I'm under the impression that all the graphical assets of the game and text has been combed through. There's now a loud noise. Just give that a moment. Okay. The thing that makes this particular secret so well hidden is that it's only mildly interesting on surface level, but it's the context that makes it what it is. It's something that won't draw too much attention unless you're knee-deep in the lore. That's how secrets should probably be hidden moving onwards. It's nearly impossible to hide things in games these days. All the mysticism and playground rumors are things of the past. So let's... yeah, let me switch my next file. Why isn't it showing up? I have a different paint. Does that? Sure if I do that? No. I have a different paint window that I want to look at, but... Okay, here. Wait, is it already on the screen? Oh, it's already on. That's weird. I don't know why it did that. Okay. The plot holes between part 1 and 2. Well, I already know what those are. It's that, the guard's story doesn't actually make sense, but, okay, so, this was some people on Discord, theorizing about it. I'll check if there's anything new there, but this was all I saw when I looked. It's not... They didn't discuss it very much. There's one secret I don't think people ever would have found if Miro didn't point it out, and so clearly that means Miro pointed this one out, so that doesn't work. And Miro also mentioned this. And also neither of those are interesting. Neither of these are secrets, really. Oh, the cave wall has claw marks on it, because Moonless clawed on the cave wall. I mean, that doesn't... Unless you could say maybe Moonless is working towards a specific direction. That's all I could think, but even that is like... I mean, there's like two things underground in Termina, so, oh, Moonless is moving toward logic? Maybe? Moonless was moving toward, the church basement? I don't know what that would be. And then this is just like the little tire track here, which I think I've noticed before. It's not that significant, but it's like, oh yeah, I mean, that makes sense. There'd be a little tire track there. It's kind of nice, I guess. And then... Okay, let me get a few other places people have been theorizing for ideas. There's a lot more in the Discord channel right now, but it doesn't look like they're talking about this. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's anything more in Discord. What about the hole that if you jump, you just die? That's an interesting possibility, because, well, so, I mean, it's definitely something people have seen, but, what I found, what makes that interesting to me is that, like, it's only mildly interesting on surface level, but it's the context that makes it what it is. But I think it is something that draws attention, because there's a bunch of unique sprites involved, and then they, like, run away, and they're, like, in this mysterious place in the forest. It seems too interesting to be... like, it seems too obviously interesting. Right? But it's not a bad idea, because it does, like... it does have a limited meaning that you learn that means more if you know more about it. Let me see if this is working. Okay, wait, let me check if there's anything new on Blue Sky. There isn't. Okay. So then, let's go here. So here's a Reddit thread about it. We have a few... I don't think we have many ideas in here. It's probably this, though. That's most likely. Somebody suggested the weird moonhead guy that can appear in the Golden Gates. And there's a link here. And I know about this. I found this myself as well. It's probably not this, even though it is pretty well hidden and people don't talk about it much. But people do talk about it. I think... where did they say? Apparently it gets mentioned on the Discord often. And it is kind of like a, something you'd see in the images of the game. If you're looking through all the images, you'd find this and think, oh, that's kind of weird. So I don't think it's that. That's probably a joke. It's definitely not the mask, because people do talk about that. And Miro replied to it with the one hint that we have. So... that's where the investigation is at right now, I believe. There's been a few ideas, and so I'm not... my plan was to just, like, start looking through, like, everything, I guess. This is, like, it's probably not going to be here. Probably not going to be here. One interesting thing is there's this A set of images of maps, which in the first game there's like an A set of maps, a B set of maps, a C set of maps, and one map had a D variant, and that's the different like versions of the same rooms that you can end up in. And so Termina had a setup for that, but then Miro clearly abandoned it early. This is then like I think this is like a prototyping map where he's just like working on the graphics to figure out what the game will look like. It's not. I mean, I can look around actually. I doubt it. This is text. Is that working? Yeah. Okay. Good. Oh, I guess. God. I'm trying to move. So for me, the window appears in the middle of the screen. It's actually probably better if it appears in the corner, just for visibility purposes, but that will mean it's in a different place for you compared to me. So I'm not sure where I should put it. I'll leave it in the corner where it kept showing up for now. Okay, this is text, so it's just a bit of like testing stuff. Nothing very interesting. Yeah, just some light, like, layering of images. So, you can clearly recognize pieces that got turned into different parts of the map later. Hello. So, like, this is where you get here from the tower. You go through that long walkway, then you end up... This is a little observatory, these stairs, and then this street. You got this hotel that's used somewhere. You've got like these doors. But yeah, there's not really any secrets in here. It's just a little chest map. So yeah, okay. Let's just look at what has been suggested, I guess. I don't have a clear plan for this video, but I had to try and do something. There's a mystery for people that only know, that are already knee deep in the lore. That's me. The secret could be the friends we made along the way. Yeah, because like this area is called Hidden Woods. This takes us to the Hidden Woods. I feel like Miro wouldn't call something the Hidden Woods and then be like, it's only kind of hidden, or like it, you know. So it seems unlikely for this. But I'll have a bit of a look. So these are owl cultists, and then there's this Hairy Man 2. Cultist 3, Hairy Man 2. Yeah, and they use Hairy Man sprites. Oh! There are sprites for him being shot at. That's kind of interesting, and for being dead. And some, like, placeholder sprites for other characters. Yeah, this is like... Oh wait, this isn't on the screen. Sorry, give me a... I'm at a level 3... Okay, I don't know if I can display this easily. I'm at a 3rd level of window. I'm just looking at his sprites. And there are sprites for, like, when you shoot them with a trench gun and they, like, stagger. And there are sprites for him laying on the ground. But there's no code here for being shot. And that being shot at needs to be, like, coded for specifically, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think they can actually be shot. What happens when you jump down here? You transfer player to pit. And so you fall here. Is that 1820? No. Yeah, you fall down there and die. Your body couldn't handle the fall. What is pit 2? Is this when you get stabbed? Yeah, so this is when you fall into a trap. You fall into this version of the pit. Yeah, I guess... It's probably not this. I'm just trying to think of... What is it? So... The thing that makes this particular secret so well hidden is that it's only mildly interesting on surface level. But it's the context that makes it what it is. Something that won't draw too much attention unless you're already knee-deep in the lore. Unless you're knee-deep in the lore. So it's... Yeah, something that's not too interesting. But is still, like, a little bit interesting. And it's also... like, so Miro has said he hasn't seen anybody mention it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So there's this little secret. I've made a video about it before. It's one of my most popular ones, so you've probably seen it. You can get bolt cutter and a rifle with this. It's kind of like a debug tile, but it's a bit more interactive. What is Karen doing here? I guess this is one of her sprites that's stored out here for some reason. Yeah, so my plan is just kind of go through all the maps and look for things that are kind of interesting, but not too interesting, and then try and figure out if they have lore implications. The lore implications of it. I think I remember somebody saying once there's a very obscure Tanaka scene. It doesn't really have lore implications. It's just, if you, like... I think if you go up to meet like, you talk to Tanaka at the shack. Oh, which one is it? You talk to Tanaka over here, and then I think you go see the woodsman, and then you go back, and he has special dialogue for that, but that's not, like, there's no lore implications there. It's just a rare event. The buckets. So there's a bunch of, like, ghost stuff in the game, which I don't know a lot about, but I believe they have to do with the talking board. And so, like, at certain places you'll see something fall over on its own, and that indicates to you that if you use the talking board, which you get from the orphanage, if you use the talking board near there, then it'll have something to say. It'll kind of give you some directions. I've never bothered with it myself. It seems very annoying. But supposedly this one can direct you into a trap sometimes. But it can also give you a unique item. It depends on if you take the path correctly. It's pretty unlikely to be anything here. Yeah, there's a bucket and chair that fall by themselves. Yeah. So like this one. And so that has an explanation already. And I know I've seen a video like showing all talking board things. I think No Commentary had that one. So I think it's unlikely to be that. But it is kind of an interesting secret. So there's that to keep in mind. Okay, random idea. What if it's the window shadow? What if it's one of these? Aren't there multiple of these? Misty forest from a tainted window. Okay. So like that's a little ghost. Is that something? I know there's that secret. There's like this. That's probably not enough. But it is like a little obscure thing. So it's got something there. I know you can talk to Samurai here sometimes, which obviously I don't think is much of a secret, but perhaps the cabin windows have been covered up by someone. Once you're on day 2, I don't think Samurai can appear. Termina tomorrow. I mean, it's Termina today, too. Okay, let's keep looking around. So we've got... This cottage has a gigantic map. This cottage does not need this much space. It's a bit silly. Yeah, I don't think there's really any space to hide anything in this one. Outskirts path. Alternate path? I mean, this is an interesting place. One fun thing about it is if you... What is this tile? Nothing, I guess. It's a fire effect, maybe? If you go out into the darkness here, there's nothing stopping you. You can wander around for a long time. And then if you stand on the right tile... Yeah, you stand on these. You can find the bear trap storage, and then you can just pick them up. And then you just pick them up repeatedly, and you get infinite traps. I don't think that's the same kind of secret, though. The pillars of clay have obvious relevance. I feel like that's too obvious. Right? It's like an Ulmer thing. It's, reference to, the man in black shows up when you mold all of these. So, like, there's no way it's So, seeing where's the code for the Man in Black appearing? It doesn't really matter, because, again, this is a really obvious, interesting, like, secret. So it couldn't be that. The path to the river. There's this crucified body here. That's something. There is this thing, which is obviously a secret, but it's, you know, I doubt this is like, oh, the undiscovered secret of this log in the woods, but I'm pretty sure No Commentary has a video on it. I feel like if something's in a No Commentary video, it's probably not the right one. But again, I forgot, I wanted to put on music. I'm not certain what music to do, but I'll get music. I can put on Pokemon music or Pikmin music. Dwarf Fortress music is pretty good. Cat music, or Look Outside. Let's do Pikmin. I only have one. I only have one Pikmin song in here. Okay. I love Pikmin so much. It never comes up though, but how's my audio soak right now? Okay, I think something like that'll work. Put on Baby Shark. If you really want it, I could, I guess. So anyway, there's one obvious secret here. Is there anything else of interest? Like, probably not. Okay. So the outskirts of the town. This is where the woodsman shows up. This is all pretty obvious. I mean, there's Black Caleb, who again has very obvious secrets. This is where the Venusica tree shows up, which is nothing secret really. Just checking some random tiles to see if there's anything. Most of these tiles are just like something to handle which sprite goes on top of which. Oh, what is this? This has a variant. Fences 1? Ooh, what is Fences 1? It's probably nothing. Okay, so I guess it's when... Oh, I know what it is. His music is loud, really. That's surprising. But okay. So that's just a variable to determine whether you're above or below the fences. So that's kind of fun, but no secret there. Okay, is this the place where you can fall down and die? It is. So there's multiple traps out here, actually. Curious. I believe if you look at the right spot, you find a unique item, but I don't know where it is. I just kind of want to see it, because I've never looked at it myself. I wish there were monsters on the walk paths. I mean, they were pretty boring, so I guess that makes sense. But I think it would, I don't know. I don't think they would help that much. You'd still have to run through them a bunch of times. And what they currently serve is like, they provide like ambience. And when you're new to the game, it's like, ooh, it's a spooky forest. You don't know what could be in here. I can't find the key. I thought there was supposed to be a snouter, like an item called the snouter key that you get from this area. Can't actually find it. It's, I'm gonna check the wiki, I guess. I think this definitely isn't the secret Miro's talking about, but I'm curious. Okay, the smelter key... is in the outskirts of Prehevel, abandoned house. Yeah, by the abandoned house is the woodsman's house. So this is it. Yeah, the ghost points to a bush somewhere, but you have to be careful not to fall into the thing. Oh well, I mean, that's definitely not the secret. Or, like, what do you think? It is slightly interesting when you just look at it. What would the smelter key mean? What is it? Its description says... a key that has seemingly melt in high temperatures. The key feels heavier than it's supposed to, as if something is attached to it. A spirit protects the wearer from fire and flames. Somebody was holding a key, and they were burned to death holding it, and their spirit haunts it. I mean, is there any weird implication you can get from that? Like Venushka does fire, and you find it just in a bush in the woods? I don't think there's anything there. But... alright, let's look at the house, because this has some stuff. So you find the tree. Like, it could be something, like, hidden on a table. There's a dirty tray with blood on it. Is that a hint? Probably not. Oh wait, the house is, the house has every floor on the same map. So up here... it's the event where Samurai can show up and... Samurai creeping. Yeah, so you can just sleep. Just fine. Glass shards. Let's do, Dwarf Fortress music. Okay, it's taking a moment to load. Okay, you find the woodsman's letter. Yeah, this all seems pretty normal and pretty non-secretive, but... I wonder if these paintings have anything that they mean. This one has an abstract painting that you can't make any sense of. This one is a portrait covered in mold. This, though, is interesting. Look at this one. That looks like somebody's face. But, yeah, I mean, obviously we don't have a lot of it. But I think the paintings are a good idea to look for. There's a lot of those, and I think people most of the time ignore them. There's obviously a bunch of blood on the walls you can read here. But that's tied to a fairly well understood mystery, so it's not the one we're looking for, I think. Got the half-drawn rare sigil, that's kind of fun. What's in here? It's like, yeah, you walk in and you talk to the man in black. He asks if you believe in the darkness. And then you can recruit him. But, you know, this is one of the most obvious, like, mysteries in the game. Like, you see this, and this isn't, as Miro said, mildly interesting on surface level. This is like, what is going on here? This is huge. What does this ladder go to? Oh, this takes you back. Interesting. So I guess there's 2 ladders in the game. Because there's also one in the tunnel with the telelectroscope, where you go up a ladder and then you exit Rare's Realm. That's kind of interesting. Like, ladders can take you out of Rare's Realm. Is there anything there? Is there anything there? Is Rare below ground and then you... Where does it take you to exactly? 4121. Front of the door? Okay, you go back in front of the door. I don't know. It's slightly interesting, but I don't know if there's anything more to it, unless... So, you enter Rare's Realm underground, and so then, when you're in it, you leave by going up, and then you end up above ground again. You end up here. And that's very similar to when you go into the tunnel. You go below ground, and then you go even deeper below ground, and then you go to the rare sigil. And then from there you can go up and leave. Yeah, this is definitely a good chance I'm like overthinking things. But this does seem a little bit interesting. I think most rare sigils don't have this though, and most aren't underground, but Okay, now we're in Old Town. One interesting thing, you can look into some of these windows. It looks like someone is standing still in the darkness when you look at this house. Leaving rare dimensions outside of rare circles is an interesting thing to consider. Yeah, I think that is, because it's, yeah, it's kind of strange. Yeah, the door is boarded up from outside. Oh! It's boarded up from the outside to keep somebody standing still from the darkness out. That's interesting. Probably not a secret. There is one hidden thing I know about in here. There's a lot of random places you can look at and get, like, descriptions here. That's kind of strange. This tile? No, this tile? One of these tiles. Oh, this one. If you press enter on this tile, it asks you try or no. And if you select try, then it runs this script that crashes the game. I presume it's some kind of testing spot that's broken and accidentally left behind. The washing machine is where to enter the rare dimension as well. Yeah, that's... That one doesn't even have a sigil to get into it. That one is also underground. I'm wondering if that matters, but... The two, you know, the one in the woodsman's basement and the one in the tunnels are both underground. And that could be important because, like, logic is underground and stuff, so just thinking about that. Anyway, back to Old Town. You can look into this window as well. You can look into... Can you look into this window? No. You can open this basement. Is there anything around a vial? Fishes hanging from a drying rope. They seem to be coated in yellow substance. Interesting. A poisonous yellow substance. What is this? I guess this is the animation for being tossed into the pig pen. I've never seen it myself, honestly. Pig execution. Pigs go! I love the exclamation mark there. Yeah, there's a nail trap there. In hard mode. Oh, Karen can lockpick the door. I forgot about that. Well, you can in general. But I think he just tells you to leave. You look at this window. You can look inside a lot of windows. Tree, red herb. August can jump into the gate here. I wonder if there's any, I've never looked at the code for the lock. It's an interesting question. So, if you have both keys, then it sets both keys and then you can unlock it. If you have bolt cutters, you can do that. You can try to force the gate open. I don't actually see the code for shooting it with a trench gun. Obviously, that's not like a secret or anything, but it'll just be something to look at, potentially. Anything with this car? That activates August Old Town, okay. Okay. You can't look into this window. That's disappointing. What if these coffins mean something? I don't know. Okay, Old Town 2. This is near the Mayor's Manor. I know one interesting thing about this place is, so this guy's name is Oscar. Oscar Active 2 over here. Name Oscar. So this is, if you leave if you like go into the manor and make the priest like stand up and then leave without fighting him, you can follow you out. Kind of interesting. Not like nothing like what Miro is talking about though. Cart. Oh. Old wooden cart. Yeah, this is just a layering thing. There's a lot of wet clothes around. Oh, because of the fog, so it's not drying. That makes sense. That's why all the clothes are still wet. Okay. And on this side of the map, there's just one really run-down house, like wooden and thatched roof in the middle of what's otherwise like the nicer buildings of Old Town. Oh, a wagon with red stains on it. For some reason, the music didn't work correctly. I was supposed to... Anyway, here's the next song. Oh! Oh, your legs can... Oh my god! When the priest saws your legs off, you can find them. Where do those show up? You can find your sawed off legs. When does that happen? Oh, it's gonna be difficult to track that down. How do you find those? Oh, this is interesting. Look at these. Okay, the priest scene. Remove your legs and priest legs sawn one. Okay, so wherever you lose the fight, Your sawed-off legs show up. This might be... It's not certain that this is functional, right? Like, it might not quite be working fully. Well, Saw's legs don't have any blood. Saw's legs don't have any blood. That's a little bit weird. But that's pretty fun. You could find your old sawed-off legs. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, there's the dead horse. There are some lore implications of a dead horse. It doesn't seem to have anything going on with it, so... Like... yeah, I mean, reference to the first game where there's a dead horse. I don't know what that does, really. Okay, let's go to the houses of Old Town. There's some obvious, you know, a bone saw next to a severed hand that's been used recently, so clearly... I wonder if... Okay, small thing. There should be... like... If there's a severed arm here, then there could be somebody missing an arm. That doesn't do much for us, but I don't know. If we see any dead bodies missing arms in the area, there's no living characters around here who are missing arms, but I don't know. Yeah, who's missing this arm is what I'm trying to say. There's a severed arm down here, and so who lost it? Who was trapped down here and had to cut their arm off? Is there something there? Probably not. Oh, what is this? I wonder if this is, a cut version of a ritual circle or something? Like, a ritual circle originally had those pieces on it, but that's the only thing I can think of. You'd have, you know, candles and like an offering bin, right? Because you offer things to the old to the new gods. Sorry. Yeah, the altar of the new gods. Okay. Another odd thing about this place... Yeah, here it is. So it's a bit difficult... It's going to be difficult to find how it's triggered exactly, but... if you, like, run away from the enemies in the first part of Old Town and then come here, they can end up in this basement. I guess the knife woman and the lead pipe man. And she can even be in this hallway and do this, like, scream attack at you. But, anyway. I don't think there's too much there. Oh, there are multiple layers. Window. You can see the basement entrance from the window. Looks like the mist is creeping inside the house. That is something. I'll have to go look at Osa for that. Because I believe... Okay. Give me a moment here. This. Okay. And then let me close the window here. There's a lot going on here. This paint. Is this correct? Okay. So, on the path to the river, Sa will say, a heavy mist just continues to gather. It's often a sign that there are otherworldly powers at play. Why is that? What does the mist have to do with it? When reality or plane of existence flickers, the air tends to gather more humidity. I don't know why that is, and frankly I do not care either. It is just mist, after all. Fair enough. So maybe this is a very small thing, but this is something that is not interesting unless you know about the lore. So I found something that, aside from being not very interesting, even if you do know about the lore, does fit. The mist is creeping inside the house, maybe because it's creeping inside the house through the basement because they have a ritual circle. Maybe. It's a very small thing, but I think that barely fits the description. Okay, nothing too interesting in the rest of the house. For the Mayor's Manor, there's definitely some stuff in here. Oh, you can look at this crucifix. I don't think you can look at all of the crucifixes. The statue's expression is that of vengeance and rage. That's not anything too odd for Almer, because, like, Blood Sword is like, his blood boils with rage and vengeance, you know, whatever. Okay, paintings. Look at more paintings. Okay, this description is the same for each one. This is Oldegard. This is where, I think that's where Dark talks to Lagard. I don't know if that's enough exactly. I think it's kind of just a reused like backdrop. But this painting is the scene in the dream where you see Dark and Lagard talking about, like, oh, why are you invading Oldegard? This doesn't really make any sense. And he's like, I have to do this. Okay. That's a very small secret discovered. It's this face again. I'm hoping we can find a description of this face at some point. Yeah, how is the painting there? I mean, if you want an in-universe explanation, there's a really beautiful place in Oldegard that the Knights of the Midnight Sun camped at once. And somebody painted. And it's a kind of famous painting. There's, you know, a lot of copies of it that get, you know, are like sold throughout Pre-Evil, because there's probably going to be multiple of this painting, most likely. It might be the only one. We'll see. The other paintings, I think this one's reused from before. This one doesn't have like any detail on it, so I can't really tell. Old newspapers. Ladders, okay. This woman again. I think it looks like a woman's face, probably. Same description. Similar paintings. Cligra brain flower, I guess. Book on the floor. The city of Pre-Evil hidden behind the thick mist. Nothing too interesting. Books. None of them catch your interest. Oh, most wardrobes you can't interact with, but this one stores linen and bed sheets. Oh, someone forgot their key here. It's gone bad long ago. Is this the secret? Probably not. But okay, another copy of the landscape painting. I just find it very interesting how sometimes there's background decoration that you can look at, but sometimes you can't. It's like wardrobes, most of the time there's nothing if you select them. A table like this, you'd never expect it to actually say something, but it does. It mentions somebody forgot their key here. There's probably not going to be something hidden there, but just something I like to... Like, the cupboards hold nothing of value. Most cupboards tell you nothing. From afar, the statue looks convincing and nice, but upon a closer look, it's pretty crude. I wonder if the statue means anything. I don't know. I don't know enough about real-life statues to say. Oh, cleaning equipment. Okay, near the dining room. Makes sense. Oh, you can get 2 coins in this cupboard. That's kind of fun. This is some of the Mayor event stuff. Okay. Nice decorated tableware. Yeah, the mansion has apparently almost everything is inspectable, and sometimes you even get items for it. 2 coins is barely anything, but yeah, it's surprising. Just do anything? Oh, you can see. That's kind of fun. You can see the floor below. And here we are. So, is there anything of note? A throwaway pile. That's nice. Ooh, 17th century poetry. The language has changed a great deal since then, and you don't bother seeing the effort right now. Just thinking, could this mean anything? Because I've got theories about language. And I'm like, could this mean anything? Look up the history of the Czech language. How different was it in the 17th century to the 1900s? You have to compare and figure out if that means anything. Probably not. This is cleaning supplies too. Bucket probably also for cleaning. Same statue description. These paintings you can't look at, which makes it all the weirder when the ones upstairs can be looked at. I guess you can't get to that spot to look at that. This note has a tile. I guess it's just for the graphic. Right. Yeah, okay. That's just to put the graphic on there. Random books. We've got this. I wonder, actually, what does the code look like here? Huh. So this is the bug where you can just... You don't need to draw the Venushka sigil to climb down the roots. And there's just no check. There isn't even a check on that at all. Miro just forgot to put anything there. So that's how that one works. Okay. I think that's I think that's this floor. Though I do want to look at the Rotor's Realm, but we'll get to that. So, anything of note here? I mean, there's some obvious stuff. White vials. Somebody tried to cook something here. Search barrels, potatoes, lettuce. Ooh, what is this? Dried up mucus. What could this mean? What could this mean? There's a lot of mucus around this place. There's a lot of mucus around here. This is a bit too obviously interesting, but I'm wondering if there's empty shelf. But there's no dust. I would suggest there's something here recently. And what does that mean? Wood Crash 1. Now what are we searching for? We don't know. Give me a moment. But this. Miro has said there's a secret that he's not aware of anybody mentioning it. That it's not just a graphical asset that you'd see and recognize as a secret. It's only mildly interesting on the surface level, but it's the context that makes it what it is. Something that won't draw too much attention unless you're knee-deep in the lore. So we're looking for something like that. I'm just checking like Twitter and their Reddit thread to see if there's anything, or Blue Sky, whatever. There's nothing new recently. Yeah, so we found a few small interesting things that probably aren't the secret. There's something. I wonder if this could be... I mean, this area is too obviously interesting, I think I've mentioned, but like, there is a good amount of mystery here that isn't even obvious, like, unless you know quite a lot about what's going on. Yeah, thank you. This one sticks out to me. It doesn't look like any known language. I wonder if that has shown up somewhere else in the games. Sorry, I'm just making a random noise. Like, what if this is how the Book of Enlightenment is described in the first game? It wouldn't make sense because there's a Book of Enlightenment in Termina too. Just looking it up on the wiki, maybe. The book radiates light in every color of the spectrum. You feel like your journey has just begun, as if your existence this very moment has been like watching someone else entirely. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Like, what if it's like this? What if it's this writing, you know? I think that is something to keep in mind. Writing that doesn't look like any known language to us. Oh, what if it's bug writing? What if it's bug writing? Like mastery over insects. It's not any known language because it's how bugs speak and how bugs write. I don't think bugs write in the games, but these are depths associated. I think you have to talk to a saw to see it. For the clearer explanation. Darkness. Yeah, here it is. So Saw mentions the darkness. It's the most tangible here in the basement. So this is the source of the darkness. I felt it outside already. Yeah, so Enki knows the bug language. And so maybe they have a way of writing too. I have another place I want to look at to check. Anyway, what are these things? Pulsating sacks? It's anyone's guess. It's clear, however, that these are manifestations of the black. Only impenetrable darkness can spawn beings like these. What you see on the ground level is a product of the foul light emanating from that pale green moon. It has the power to change living beings if they're exposed to it long enough, but pure darkness can do just the same. Not the exact same, but to simplify the process, let's just say it's more or less the same. So they're just talking, the darkness is like the power of the god of the depths. Which is why I think this could be bug writing. I think that is, right now, my best candidate. It's, I'm far from certain, but legitimately I feel like this language being like mastery over insects language seems possible. I'm gonna look for something else that will help us investigate that. I believe it's in Perheval West. It's in one of the apartments. This one? Yeah, this one. Okay, random documents fill the table. For the most part, the documents are just illegible ramblings. And if you're Osa, then you see the only constant in all the papers is the sigil of the long-lost older god, the god of the depths. The letter R reversed, whatever that means. So, illegible ramblings, I would take to mean it's not a completely different language. It's just like the door. There's something at the door. Or it's words, but it doesn't make any sense. Rather than it being a different language. I don't know. Oh yeah, the God of the Depths exists in the second game indirectly, so this is kind of the main evidence for it. The first thing, the thing in the basement is something. But this is like, oh, okay, there's definitely something going on. And so you can tell from the look of how this thing is, that these are the beekeeper enemy. And so the beekeeper is still the influence of the god of the depths. Somehow. Okay, so that doesn't specifically support my theory. But I do think it's still possible. The shelves are curious too. There's also the buckets of light mucus. I'm gonna check the wiki for a few item descriptions. Like, what is black bile described as a mucus? Or... okay, black vial is called a vial full of mysterious black liquid. Okay, I know the yellow vial. A vial full of yellow-colored mucus. The smell is very salty, but it might just be edible. Like, that's my best idea for the connection here. So, the yellow vial is something you get from milking the cave mother in the first game. And it's just described as... I wonder if light mucus is supposed to mean, like, it's mucus that is a light color? So that's my best idea. These certainly aren't the cave mother, but it's a depths-associated creature that had a mucus that was even kept in barrels, in buckets, sorry, in the first game. I have a video about that, called, like, it's like Fear and Hunger's most important cut feature, because in a early version of the game, there was going to be a bucket with yellow liquid in it. That if you took a vial and took it out, then it would be a yellow vial that you could drink. So this is also a very a very deep cut reference, possibly. They also might just be harvesting like the black vials as well, which is a simpler explanation for sure, I think. Interesting. Need some water. Okay. Oh my god, there's another ladder! Oh, it just takes you a different part of the place. Anyway, so... if you draw a rare sigil, you start out here. I've heard this sigil can be a little bit buggy if you drew a different sigil in the regular version of the mana, and then and then got here through the golden gates. It doesn't mean that much though, but just something interesting about it. What's this? Oh, I guess it's like a thing that pokes out of the ground. Yeah, if you draw Sylvian, you can get 2 Sylvian for 1. I guess you're familiar with it. I've never messed with it myself, so I don't know exactly how it happens. But yeah, I heard you get extra affinity, basically. Oh, actually, this looks intentional. Wait a second. So I have been here through the Golden Gates when I didn't draw any sigil here, and there wasn't anything you could do, which is kind of like it is now. Like, no, this has to be intentional. Right? Sylvian's the only one that seems to do anything. Like, I think like it even has an exhausted variant. I want to compare how similar that is to this. I guess this is... No, okay, Grogoroth has been disabled. Yeah, if you draw in the mansion, its drawing will be the same one. I'm trying to determine like how intentional it is. Or like if Miro just copied over too much accidentally. I think this... Yeah, if you draw a Grogoroth circle, then it doesn't really do anything. I should check this switch, 1441. This does sometimes crash the program. I'm a little scared of that. Grogoroth circle. The search was very slow, and it closed. Is everything still working? Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. Not certain what that does. There's a chance it's intentional, though, is all I can say. Which would be interesting. Thank you, Dr. No Name. Alright, let's keep looking around. I don't think there's anything too complicated in here. So you go down this ladder. Okay, wait. Okay, I thought of one thing. So, Rare's Realm is normally a mirror of the real world, and so this is the room with the ritual circle. This is the room next to it, This is the room Marina's trapped in. This is the staircase. This is the room that lets you go further down. It's kind of curious that you can't. This is the room before the dining room. This is the dining room. It's a little bit interesting that the dining room... Oh, okay, that's kind of... This is significant. A mockery. Like they were meant to just mock their real-world counterparts instead. That was my theory for quite a while, actually. That things in Rare's realm are sometimes there as mockeries of the real world, specifically. That's interesting that it's said clearly there. I've used the term like mockery in the past to describe stuff from Rare's realms. That's interesting. Go down the stairs. Here's the room with the cleaning supplies. This was the mayor's office. Floor just ends there. Yeah, that's curious. So, yeah, then you have Rare's golden gates here in the library. Any chance? No, this just takes you to... So, okay, yeah. So the only way in and out is the golden gates and the Rare sigil. Okay. Yeah, I describe a lot of Rare's realm things as being like a mockery. Like the telelectroscope is just like a weird fish with like a tube in its mouth. Like, what is that supposed to be if it's not like mocking logic? Okay, so this is the two-story house. This is the house in Old Town with a basement. I don't expect much to be in here. What is this? Oh yeah, you can have a Poe here that can kill you. Nothing too special. Oh, these cupboards also have a shilling. Interesting. Oh, look at this! There's moldy bread in here! Has anybody ever looked at this table and found the moldy bread from here? Oh, you only have a 1 in 3 chance of getting it, anyway. Look at this! There's a 1 in 3 chance of getting moldy bread from this specific... Oh, this one has a chance of getting wheat flour. Yeah. You've never done it either. Like, who would... I mean, I've maybe looked at the table and then not found anything, but it's only a 1 in 3 chance. Huh. Finding lots of tiny secrets, which is nice. Okay, yeah, then we can go up the stairs. A shady picture of a shady person. Okay. The same picture was used for a mold-covered painting before. Doesn't mean that much, but something. Yeah, I don't think there's anything left there. Basement has another ritual circle. Why is there blood here? Oh, for blood portal. Okay. Yeah, it's an ascended god circle, so it doesn't do anything too interesting. Okay. It's fun that there's secret bread. You only interacted with the radio, yeah. I mean, you know, I think we know how those work. They just summon a Poe if you've done it wrong. So derelict house, I believe... Oh no, okay, no, it's the house in between parts of Old Town. And one fun thing is when you step on the glass, it makes them stand up. But otherwise, if you don't step on the glass, you can walk past them just fine. It's kind of fun. Yeah, just a blocked off hallway. This one does have the TV room. This must be the television room. A bloody bowl, you know, typical to every television room. Okay. Oh, yeah, look at the... Okay, the view is almost straight through the windows of the neighbor. Interesting. Okay, so this painting again. A painting of a tranquil landscape. Okay, so now we know what that one is. Painting of a gaunt figure. Picture depicts a young man with striking cheekbones. I wonder if that's anything of note. Young man with striking cheekbones. Striking cheekbones. I have a few things to actually follow up on there. Just looking up on the wiki. Where's the... Here it is. Okay. Got a lot of tabs to manage. I think it's Lagarde. My suspicion is more one of these two. The radiated one doesn't look to have striking cheekbones. I mean, this is the only look of them we see. This portrait of a young man, I don't think he does either. It's described here. The face is beyond recognition, so it doesn't really tell us that much. It would be weird if there were more of them, but I don't know. A gaunt figure with striking cheekbones. I don't know. Doesn't seem like much. But something to, I don't know, just another painting to look at. Yeah, so there's this whole thing. This is the same map, just kind of curious. Not really. I don't think there's too much secret here. Got this. As usual. Oh, I might have just deleted it from my key. And I moved it. Okay, let's move it back. Move it back up. Okay. I'll just not save any accidental edits. Okay, so we're back at the forest. There's an obvious secret here. Iki Terso. But that's, you know, that's too obvious. Right? Like, I think we all know what that means. Really. You can take Circle's mask off. It's kind of fun. Ooh, Dane calls it a Bigfoot. That's kind of a little bit interesting. That's Pacific Northwest. Yeah, you can take Rancid's head. Terso is dead. Yeah, I mean, it's too obvious of a mystery to really have any chance of being what Miro was talking about. Dead horse again. Okay, there's actually variables for being near the horse, because Abella has slightly different dialogue if you're standing next to the horse. Let me go get it. Oh no, poor horsey! Who could have done this? Oh, and Karen has variants for where exactly she's standing. Oh, I can't look! Why would someone do this? Okay. I'm checking every single event tile. No, not every single event tile. That would be too much. Why would I save the sewers as a last resort? I mean, I'll get to them. I mean, maybe I might run out of time. Because I'm doing a lot of looking at a lot of things, but... yeah, I mean, I'll get to the sewer. Probably isn't much of interest here. There's one interesting thing. I mean, it's not the same, but... so there's a version of the paths scene which has... let me scroll down a bit. Has variants for every playable character. So if you're playing as journalist and he says, "Good girl, Lieutenant Passenger Service," and then he says, this is one of my favorite lines, "Karen, be on your best behavior, Karen, yes? Oh boy, if eyes could kill, your stare would be a grenade launcher." That's a compliment, by the way. So there's variants of this conversation for every playable character, but that's not the version that gets used. The conversation is actually here, and this version only has variants for the first 4 playable characters, so you can't actually see all of these. But they're pretty fun. Anyway, not what we're looking for, just, you know, interesting things. Here's where Pav is stored. Oh, that's his wink. When does he wink? Maybe when he says, like, "be killing you later." Anyway. I've never actually looked at that before. The secret passage between the deeper forest and this part. I mean, there's no real use for it, but it's something. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's anything interesting in here. The tunnels, there could be. Could be something interesting. What is this doing out here? Odd. Nothing interesting. Random schematics. Okay. Keep track of that. Ooh, is this something? Oh. That... That doesn't really mean anything, but that's just... It's interesting. I've never even looked at this random thing on the wall before. But there's no panel for it, no power for the panel. And even when you turn on the generator, it doesn't actually power it. Don't know what it means, but that's something. Okay, so somebody with a watchman here, that makes sense. Makes sense. What about this panel? Same thing, okay. Oh, this has something. Oh no, it's just a locker image. That's fine. What's Needles doing over here? I guess killing Tanaka. Okay. Here's where Tanaka's hat can be. Are these panels the same? Yeah, they're the same. Okay, I don't think I see anything interesting in the tunnels. Okay, it's a different map. Elevator. Just, it's an elevator. Here's where you have to climb it. Okay. Oh, out of curiosity, can I show off the textures in the top left? which which for what tile exactly. I can show them off in general. A, B, C. Oh, these ones. Okay. This is the tile set stuff. So it doesn't do much right now because we're not in the correct mode. If we switch what mode we're on, then this is like this draws the tiles, right? It's like we can make a wall. And the different tile sets are, you know, the different tabs are different tile sets that can be used. I think this is for random encounter tables, which Fear and Hunger doesn't use. And so like here I can place a new stack of barrels by clicking on all these. Oh, I might have clicked too many times. Oh no. It crashed. That's a... Why, that seems like a ridiculous thing to cause a crash, but okay. RPGmaker does crash pretty easily, I suppose. Okay, we're back. Let's not go into that mode again. Where were we? Tunnel 7-2. Okay. I know, so some of these tables in other tunnels have interesting things on them, but these ones obviously we've already checked and didn't have much. Well, this is actually kind of interesting. I hadn't thought about this before. What was the cause of death of the Bremen soldier here? I'm gonna check the letter on the wiki. The cat just sneezed behind me. It startled me. Soldier's letter. Okay, is there any hint in here? No, not really. No, that was a cat. So yeah, there's information cables, obviously, it's logic. We know how all this works by now. It does say there's an operation manual. I don't know if that really does anything, just thinking about it a little bit. Oh, the sulfur cultists could have killed him. That is very possible. I mean, needles, you know, he stabs people, but I guess, like, diseases or poison, needles does use poison. So that makes sense. That's a good idea. Glad to have that figured out. Anything interesting here? No. Okay. So we go to alternate 7-2. Where do we start? Here. So clearly this is the same thing. You have no idea what you're looking at. Whatever it is, it... Oh! Well, that's interesting. Before you activate logic, it's not pulsating erratically, but afterwards it is. Okay. So Rare knows that the fish tube is pulsating or not. This is what I was mentioning earlier, that, like, this looks like a mockery of logic. It's like, here's what you look like. You've got, like, a stupid face and you have a tube in your mouth. So, yeah, I mean, mockery to me seems like part of Rare's realm, but finding that one bookshelf that clearly said it was helpful. Yeah, so clearly this is the same thing. I wonder what the giant hands would become. Yeah, I guess it does actually look... I thought it looked like a weird fish. But it does look more like a human face with, like, here's the nose. And then if you consider, like, the giant hands... I don't know where that map is. Let me just try looking at it here. It probably won't be one of these... cables. Yeah, it kind of looks a bit like this version of Logic, or the version of Logic in the second phase of the fight. Kind of looks like that. So that might be... it might just be supposed to look more like Logic. I just thought it was a weird fish. Anything going on with the elevator? There's a lot of there's all these hands around. I'm pretty sure this is like a metaphor kind of thing. Like, here's all these hands of like millions of people dying to build Logic. That was part of the song. Okay. I do like this, but let's skip past one with vocals on it. The music's from Dwarf Fortress, by the way. Okay, we've got a very big map. So this is... yeah, so this is the way out. Oh, look at this. If Lieutenant Select is off, Pav is the lieutenant. There's moments in the code where Miro has planned in advance for like being able to play characters that aren't currently playable, and here's one of them. If you're playing as Pav, if you're not playing as Pav, and Pav is alive and not dead, and you haven't been into pre-evil, then this event happens. But if you are playing as Pav, then it doesn't. Fun. Oh! Ooh! Okay, I haven't seen that before. So you can see a description. Lifeless arms reach out from between the boards. Huh. It's a Rontiel spot in the middle of nothingness there. Do these have anything? No. Okay. Playable Pav confirmed. I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, the most common one I've seen is for Businessman, which is Tanaka. Tanaka seems to be the one that has been taken into consideration the most, but you occasionally get others. I've seen Caligula and Samurai a few times. Some kind of weird contraption. So there's definitely less space in this version of the tunnels than the actual tunnels. One notable thing is the Golden Gate is placed at the exit here, which doesn't mean that much. The Golden Gates in the Mayor's Manor were just in the library, so that doesn't really mean much. But yeah, we do have... okay, so I was thinking earlier, like, this is... you enter this rare schedule underground and you leave it by climbing up. And it's also true in the Woodsman's house. Not true in the Mayor's Manor. Actually, I guess one thing that might be noticeable, there's no alternate version of the basement. Right? I don't know where the stairs are exactly, but is it just here? Yeah, there's just a door next to the staircase. So that'd be like here. But there's no basement. Doesn't necessarily mean much, but, you know, there's the God of the Depths stuff down there, so maybe it's like, it's something else and Rare doesn't want to do it. I don't There's really very little in this tunnel. It's a very empty location. I spent a lot of time in it when I first played the game, just because of the way I took to get into the city, but I've like never gone back, because there's just nothing in here. It's not a very worthwhile place to visit. Yeah, and I don't see anything here right now. Okay. It connects to the sewers here. Through these. It's a bit odd, like... This probably doesn't lead to anything, but... There's 3 tunnels at the same place in the sewer. And they all just go here. Which is a different thing that isn't the sewer. And so, like, where are these tunnels... Where are they even supposed to be going? I think it just doesn't exactly make sense if you fully think about it, but it's just like a video game thing. I wonder if these planks are put here by the NLU so they can get between these tunnels. Maybe even the Eastern Union did it. There's this rat hag that I don't think you're able to fight. I think they just sit there. You can shoot her. I've done that before. You don't get anything for it. She's just there to annoy you a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna have a break for a moment. Okay, I'm back. So, we could keep looking at the sewers, or we could move to Prehevel. We've barely done any of the map. I think it makes sense to stay outside of the city for now. Just do the remaining, even though it's not in order there. Do I like root beer? I think so. I don't have it often. Yeah, these statues are too obvious of a mystery. They're just very weird. But I don't think there's anything to know about them. Seems like a fairly simple map. Okay, the lake. Water moves. Hi, Kira Queen Bite-Sudust? Oh yeah. I forget if it's like Daison no Bakudan or not. There's a boat. Yeah, nothing too interesting out in the water. Oh, Karen's standing out here. Oh! What is this? Oh! This is probably a cut thing. Look at this. Karen wondering. Did you know the boy? I think his name was Levi. He was from the train too. He took off quickly after waking up without saying much. What do you think killed him? The hits he took, they look man-made. Could be one of the crazed locals or someone from the train. He's been... that thing that stands on top of the Dream Tower, he's been trying to push me into violence. Saying it's the only way out of the situation, adding pressure with the day count. Pretty standard manipulation strategies, but can't say it wouldn't be effective. I mean, all of us want to leave this place behind, right? What if someone took that advice? I don't really trust anyone at the moment because of the obvious reasons, so no thanks. I don't want to take my chances and get stabbed. Interesting. Karen knows about what? Karen knows about what? Karen knows about Caligula, is what this text is. Oh, so, okay. Huh. So if Karen knows about Caligula, then you can ask her, and she'll say, he's a relatively well-known mobster from the Vatican City. I recognized him immediately, even though he was trying to keep low profile. I wonder what's his business here. Just kill him if you see him. He's a miserable pile of human waste. No one's going to miss him when he's gone. I got a bullet waiting for him, too. Interesting. Huh. I wonder if, like... So apparently Karen can find out about Caligula, or at least was planned at one point, to be able to find out about Caligula killing Levi. And have stuff to say about it. Which makes me wonder, because Caligula can kill Henrik here, maybe originally this was killing Levi, and then Karen could end up on the beach for her own reasons. And then you'd talk about it, I guess. Oh yeah, Dan can be here. Okay, that's fine. What map is this? This is the lake. This is the little house with Dan. Let's just check this. So this is a exclusive for fighting Valkyrie. There's probably nothing here, really. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in here. Floating, this is an empty map that you could visit while you're going to the island. 010-3, then track 1. Okay, okay. So, yeah, here's Caligula. and Henrik. You know, they can get into a fight. You can interrupt them. Where's the code for the scene? Here? Here? Oh, here it is. Yeah. So this is a known scene. It's a little bit out of the way, for sure, but it's far from completely unknown. And yeah, by default, Caligula will typically kill Henrik. This is so interesting. I have to I have to go look for where these variables can be found. So 3509 and 3511. Karen wondering. Because this was likely cut, but it'd be interesting if it's an event that nobody's found before. Is OBS still working? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, Primeval West is where this can get set. Let's go look into that. Primeval West. So 5045. Huh. What did you do? Interesting. If never saw Caligula Levi's on, what did you do? This is not what it looks like. Sure, it never is. What exactly does this look like then? I didn't kill him. He was like this. Sorry, I'm not used to being a suspect to a killing. Interesting. So Levi... Huh. You happen to have any blunt weapons on you? Yeah, it seems like this is some kind of event where Karen will find you after Levi's been killed by Caligula. It's actually impossible for you to kill Levi in this scene. So this would have to be Caligula. Caligula will kill him if you don't interfere. If you do interfere, you'll fight Caligula, and then Levi will run away, and you won't be able to catch him. So this is always your innocent in this case. Though you didn't stop Caligula from doing anything, but... Interesting. Caligula. So this is old as well, I would think, because it's misspelled Caligula several times. So there's a variant for if you're playing as Marco. Well, this is Caligula killed him. Oh, even Karen has had an episode with Caligula. What happened? It doesn't matter. I don't know how to take care of myself. Caligula is a broken man beyond repair. If you ever had redeeming qualities to his character, those qualities are in the past. Interesting. Huh. So there's a few other spots as well. At 3635. Why would it be at 3635? Here. Okay, so this moves characters around. Then, yeah, that's... Okay, 56... 57? Where's... No, 56, 67. So that's when you leave the area. Karen wandering is on. Huh. Has anybody ever seen something like this? Karen interrogating you after Levi's been killed? Okay, so this is Levi being killed. You said ooh-ah. I don't know if that's a yes or a no. Levi killed West. Karen... Yeah, never seen. I guess this is cut in some way. I wonder, it seems like pretty complete. This is very strange. I'm gonna look at this one too. This was another variable. Okay, so this is only triggered by here. So if you tell her about Caligula, then she'll know that when you talk to her at the lake about this event, which is an odd place to talk to her about this. So if Karen is wondering, oh, she knows about Caligula, then she won't be here. And if West gone, then she'll be there and you can talk to her again. Okay. I don't see any images of Karen in the area for her to show up for this event. I guess that's just a cut scene that we don't know much about. Oh yeah, maybe Levi is dead before you even got there? Does that... Yeah, he can be dead before you even get here. I'm pretty sure. He's dead! Okay, yeah, so never saw the event. That's this flag here. And he's dead. Oh, here it is. Okay, this is it. So, if day 3 is off and Karen is in the party, and you're not playing as her, and she's not dead, and you haven't visited it, then theoretically this event should happen. So, to do that, you probably want to, I guess, just if you wait until, like, the... I think this... Yeah, I don't know if you need to have seen the Caligula event or not for this. I'm guessing that you need to not have seen it. Okay, I'm gonna look into that on my own after the stream. I'm gonna take a note. Check for Karen event. Just on my MS Paint document. Okay. That's something interesting. Not what we're looking for right now. But a never-before-seen event, potentially. Okay. Anything else in the lake? So Karen, if you're following her, you'll find her at the lake. I don't know. Like, I wonder how you. Because this is supposed to put her here. It's supposed to send her to the lake somehow. But how? She has to be in your party. There's something. There might be a very, very specific chain of events that gets her to stand at the lake and have this scene. That's going to be hard to find. Okay, so the focus that we're looking at, just focus back again. And for anybody that was late. We are looking for a secret that has not been found, or at least that Miro has never seen mentioned, that isn't a simple graphic or text asset that is immediately obviously significant. It's only mildly interesting on a surface level, but it's the context that makes it what it is. It's something that won't draw too much attention unless you're knee-deep in the lore. So that's what we're looking for, just like... it's been a while with that Karen diversion, just reminding myself and anybody here. I don't expect there to be much in this area. Before they're about to get moon scorched on day 3. Well, so Karen will stand here at day 3 dusk. This is, you know, when she's about to be moon scorched. She'll show up here. But this is a different Karen, clearly. And yeah, she's off in the lake, so presumably she's supposed to move her. Oh, does she have a route? Turn towards the player. Okay, maybe that's not. I don't know how this like autonomous movement stuff works. I've never actually looked at that before. Yeah, presumably that means there's something that's supposed to place her onto the beach, where she then talks to you. Yeah, I'm not sure what that Karen is yet. That's gonna do a bunch more investigation of that on my own. Oh, okay, let's go back to Old Town, see if there's anything going on. So these are the train tracks, which are notable because at the beginning of the game you're told to follow the train tracks, and that's actually impossible to do. You're back! Did you find it? I found a few interesting things. There's a cut event, or maybe cut, or maybe so rare that nobody's seen it, event with Karen that I'm going to be looking at on my own later. I have one thing that probably isn't it, but does meet the basic description, which is that the book in the Mayor's Manor basement is like in known, I don't know, in no known language. And I'm wondering if maybe that's the mastery over insects language. What if that's it's a book written in bug? It's not a huge implication or anything, but it's a small, maybe a secret. I don't really see anything in Old Town. That's a desk mask tile. Can you see it? Okay. Mayor's basement. This thing. You can't make sense of the writing. It doesn't look like any known language to you. Maybe it's bug. That's the language. Because those weird things are depths associated. Kind of complicated to explain just right now, and I already did it before, so I don't want to repeat it. Okay, we've got some of the shacks in the area. Dan will leave if you're here. Priest head, wall with severed head. This is helpful actually. The earliest heads look several weeks old, while the most recent ones seem to be freshly cut. So the festival has been going on for several weeks. Just, you know, another mention of time that... Time isn't mentioned often, but like, okay, several weeks. That seems right. 28 days, you could say. There's obviously some reused head images in here. Ragenwalder, Buckman, the marriage. Yeah. I don't think there's anything that interesting to that. A bloody bowl with dried up blood, whatever that means. Oh, this place is in here. Okay. This place is very interesting. I think it's too clear of a mystery to fit the description. So there's this portrait of a young man on top of the drawer. The person has his face scratched over. We looked at that picture earlier. There's this kind of interesting story, maybe, going on with this portrait. So there's this diary here. I don't want to read it all out, but you can read it. It's got some implications, I guess. So, there's this young man who is planning to leave the city, but doesn't make it in time. And his other things are other places I'll have to look at in a minute. There's a long message. Yeah, the festival started a while ago. I have a video on it. They made the peace treaty is about a week old, or at least the beginning of the negotiation of the peace treaty is in a week-old newspaper. But the festival started several weeks ago, at least because of that thing, and it's evidence points towards it being a lunar cycle long, like a lunar month, maybe that's what they say. Full moon to full moon. And so that's like 4 weeks. And so the Bremen army got here a little bit before the peace treaty. Projector, I mean, that's an obvious meaning. It's about moon scorching. Just kinda shows you how it works. The tunnels are pretty empty. I don't think I see anything interesting in here. And we could look at the sewers, I guess. Somebody wanted to look at the sewers earlier. Oh, look at this. There's like an ocean out here. Huh. There's some enemies stored up there. Normal stuff. Not really expecting to find anything in here. Ooh, rats on the move. Yeah, there's some rats you can talk to, I suppose. I do need to track down all of the rats eventually, but I'm waiting until the update because there'll be new rats by then. My chair is being annoying right now. I don't really see anything here. Doesn't seem like a very interesting place. The sewage treatment plant. Anything... I mean, this is the puzzle, right? The really annoying puzzle. There's the tiles all over. I'm never gonna search through all of these. It seems simple enough. I don't think there's gonna be much here. Back rooms. Yeah, it's all pretty boring stuff. Sewers 2. So this connects... Or doesn't this connect? I guess it connects here. Yeah. Yeah, just crates and... You can talk to the rat king here, but that's too interesting, of course. This is the code for monster. That's pretty simple. I don't really know what I'd even be looking for in the sewer. Maybe that's why I was asked if it would be a last resort, because it's so uninteresting. And there doesn't seem to be anything in there. Like... yeah, it's pretty boring here. I'm not seeing much. It's just sound effects, right? Yeah. There's a beekeeper in here that activates in like hard mode mainly. Maybe it's time-based, I don't know. What's this? There's a piece of paper in the... oh! Huh. I guess it's just like some code to spawn trash in that moves? Maybe? I don't know exactly. My chair is continuing to be annoying. It just like falls at times, and then I have to push it back up. But it only sometimes does it. Yeah, I'm struggling to find anything interesting in the sewer. It's kind of just sewer, from all I can see. This is the most interesting segment of it, probably. What is this? Just a barrel, I guess, okay. Couldn't tell. Looked like it could have been something interesting. Because some of these people can talk to you. I guess this one can't. Maybe? Yeah. Some of them will be able to talk to you. Like this one. Hey, we might have a truce, but I'm not the keeper of my bros. I'd get away from these sewers as fast as possible if I were you. Virgin skin folks like you aren't welcome here. Oh, this is actually a small interest. The survivors of the bloodshed mostly took refuge from these sewers, yeah. I hear the fancy folk lock themselves inside the museum, though. Not a pretty sight, eh? It's itchy and scratchy. So itchy it makes you kinda mad, you know? Kinda makes you want to scratch every virgin face around. But, yeah, I mean, we know that the fancy folk lock themselves inside the museum, but that's just... I don't know. Somebody acknowledging it. And most of them don't talk to you. But this one specifically has a lot of very important information, which I've read out before in the video on the Termina Festival. So I don't see anything else in the sewers then. Sewer winch, some papers, random documents. None of them are interesting. Okay. And then you've got this tiny sub area of the sewers that I think doesn't connect to... oh, it does. Where is this exactly? Oh, it's this one. Yeah, you go down these ladders and then you go to the substation. Yeah, there's not that much interesting here. Oh, it's kind of fun. I didn't realize these are like connected like this. Like you can't go through it, but this is... oh, this would be connected. I don't know. Doesn't mean much. Okay, do we look at the woods or do we go into the city? I guess I'll look at the woods. I don't expect much here. I know there's one obvious thing. Anything of note? in the forest. This August conversation is really interesting, but that's not a mystery, of course. Yeah, undergrowth awareness lets you go to the forest near the tunnels. That's very obscure and pretty much useless. I've never seen it before myself, but I've heard it mentioned, so I'm not surprised, but it's an owl cultist. Are there any traps in this part of the... It would be helpful to know, actually. So yeah, this part of the forest doesn't have any traps in it. That's good to know. But there's a big one here. Near Doppelganger Olivia. There can be a fecal hound here. I don't know. Okay? There's a fecal hound here as well. Are there two? I've never encountered that one. So this is a very specific one. At some specific point of day, August will shoot this fecal hound. It's just another chance to kill him, really. He doesn't say much. And then you obviously have this mysterious woman here. If it's nighttime, she will be serenading the moon and have no reaction to you. Is there any, is there anything like... anything of interest I can... Does this match what Miro said at all? I mean, people have definitely talked about it. It's not... I can't imagine ever going into this part of the forest at night, because it's extremely deadly, so, like, why would you do that? Because you have to watch out for these floors, and, like, at night you'll be able to see them even less. So it seems like a terrible idea, but people have done it and found this, so... I don't think that does much for us. Oh, there's more fecal hounds. Are those like cut from the game or something? I've never actually run into them. Oh, there's this. How do you get here? Oh, triggers an owl cultist? That's kind of fun. But how? Is this like a trap? You open this and then an owl cultist shows up? Maybe here? Oh, these ones. Oh, cool. Look, you can get ambushed by owl cultists. How do you even... I don't know how you get down here, though. Like, through this path? You go, like, here? This is very out of the way. And then you get ambushed? Would you go from the left side? No, probably not. That'd be fun to look at, I guess. But it's, not what we're aiming for exactly. Okay, I don't think there's anything else in there. Cavern entrance, I guess this is the sewer caverns. There's definitely potential for there to be something in here that's like what we're looking for. But it's also like, I don't know, if it's a... Huh. There's a dropped bag down here. That is very odd. A vodka and 5 blue vials. I feel like I've never seen that before, but I must have. I'm sure it's in the main path. I wonder whose that is. The main person we know that's been down here is August. Could be his, but there's some bones. Could be whoever's bones these are. A ratkin ambush. Butterfly. Here's the cave that supposedly has claw marks on it. I don't see them. Supposedly, this is a secret that Miro has mentioned. Maybe it's the cave in the first game? Because, like, these are not... I don't see claw marks here. Isn't there supposed to be a statue of sulfur or something down here? Yeah, this thing. That's Gorgoroth, clearly. It's a pile of rotting bodies. It's a bit obviously interesting, but... let me think. Obvious meaning would be... the most obvious connection is the Church of Perheval, which used to have some stuff down here. And thus these could be their sacrifices to Gorgoroth. It could also be the Ratkin? Maybe? Because they live in this area, and so, like... how are you going to get a pile of rotting bodies down here without the Ratkin's permission? And we know, like, their Small Things amulet is probably the god of fear and hunger, but it's done a bit differently, and so this could be Gorgoroth, but it's not done that differently, though, but it is a little bit different from how most Gorgoroths we've seen. Okay, cavern ladders, it's just a ladder. A tunnel, it's just elevators. Where are we? Here we are. Okay. So we've got books over here. This is something worth looking at. Nothing on them. Okay, this has the NOU reconnaissance report, which is a Bremen army thing. So that means the Bremen army has been here. Different diagrams and schematics. Okay. It's strange if the Bremen army has been here and not turned the teleelectroscope on. Because there's also the soldier at the other teleelectroscope, which still wasn't turned on. Maybe the idea is that they were waiting to connect them all at the same time. Right, connecting one before another does not cause any damage to the system, but it should not be done without clear orders from the designated official. So, maybe Kaiser wanted to get them all in place and then turn them on all at once. But, you know, things interrupted them. I don't think there's any other sign of the Bremen army being at this teleelectroscope other than the reconnaissance documents, which makes it a little bit weird. The other version of the tunnels goes here, which is just an exit to the decayed foundations. And so I guess this connection's always been a bit weird because, like, it doesn't seem to be intentional. It's like because the wall has been breached, so maybe it was intentional. Just thinking about this, like, who would have breached the wall into the church's secret crypts? Because, like, it could be the church broke out of the crypt in order to get to the logic tunnel here, or... Okay, so the Eastern Union built the tunnels. I think this probably doesn't matter. The Eastern Union built the tunnels, and they did it from the sewer. And then they built over here, and they built up to the here. And then somebody broke into these walls. And given that one of them doesn't have an elevator, it must have been from this side. So either the Eastern Union, or the NLU, or the Bremen Army broke into the church. I think. I don't think that leads us to anything, but I don't know. I'm just looking for things. The deepest woods are pretty empty. I don't think there's any secrets. Oh, there's something here. There's a falling trap. You can die here. That's fun. How do you even get down there? Like, you go like here? Or like, you probably go here and then here? What is this? It's just a tree, okay. Don't see anything there. Tunnels. This has this interesting notebook, which is kind of fun. Not like a secret or anything. There's just a lot of notes about the logic project in this area. Was this one you? No? Okay. Is there anything in the place that has stitches in it? There's... nope, not that. Timetable for working shifts. Does this turn on? Is that... yeah, okay. The drawers don't seem to have anything interesting in them. Glad Miro made sure to write that down so we would know. An empty shelf, okay. I don't think there's anything of interest in this layer. Here we have the last teleelectroscope, and I guess the Bremen Army never made it here. There's nothing to suggest that, right? Let me check. Bench grinder. No, it's another NOD reconnaissance report. Huh, that's kind of strange. Because they're made by the Bremen Empire. So, like... but then they've also got the coded letters, which are made by the NLU. Now, why would they have the NLU reconnaissance reports here? Because this is like... yeah, it's distributed to all mid-level Bremen officers assigned to Bohemia. So that would mean the Bremen officer was here. I wonder if Pav has one. He's like a mid-level officer, right? But he wasn't assigned to Bohemia necessarily. He just took a random train to get here, which doesn't really make much sense for him to do. And that, I mean, he's desperate, I guess, in these. But like his whole plan of joining the army didn't seem to help. I don't see anything else here. We looked at the hidden woods earlier. It's a bit too obvious to be the mystery we're looking for. Oh, this tent is probably a Bremen army tent? That would make sense. And that's why, yeah, okay. But they get stopped by the centaur, maybe? Okay, then we have Rare's Realm, which is its own whole incredible mystery. I guess I'm gonna go back to the city now. We searched almost everything that isn't the city. Now we get to start looking at the city. Probably won't be going for too much longer, but I think a lot of the city is just gonna not. Because, like, there's nothing hidden. Or, like, here's Abella. She can be dead there. I don't think there's anything that really fits what we are looking for in most of the streets. You probably want to be looking inside. Oh, look at this! Is that like a sign? Is there... I don't think... Is there a sign here? That, like, we can't... This looks like cut code for a sign that gives you directions. Right? Church of Almar Temple District. Residential Area Business District. No, that's... St. Denwick's Orphanage Shopping District are further west. I guess they're northwest, but the business district is directly west, and then Old Town is south. Huh. I don't think there's a sign here, but maybe that is like... Oh no, there's... Is there a sign in this map? Normally? Is that normally visible? Thank you for the good luck. It's just the death mask again. Is there like a sign here? There's nothing visible. But this is probably interactable in-game. I'm gonna add that to my notes. That sign in center of stairs. That is odd. Yeah, I don't expect much to be outside. Central Preheval. There is a little bit of a secret here with the dead crow that you can just pick up for some reason. It's a reference to the Tormented One's poems. The crow was just playing with his blood torso or something. There's this little scene where you can be shot by them if you stand here for too long. It's kind of fun. Oh, look at this! Marina's dead body can be out here. She suffered a terrible fate. True. Here's the Mare Levi force field. Okay, probably nothing there. The bookstore... Huh. Oh, there's the second floor. Okay. It's odd there's a ritual circle up here. Doesn't mean much, but bookstore flyers, that's fun. Yeah, probably nothing in here. Every book has like some fun stuff you can look at. There's erotica here, of course. More books. Ooh, what was that? fiction, modern drama. I just like want to look at a few of the shelves. Okay. Probably nothing there. Okay, and we're at the temple site already. What is that? Another coffin. Okay, that's nothing. There's a clock. There's, you know, all this stuff. I mean, I wonder, there's probably... That looks like a dark priest. Yeah, I opened up the sprite sheet, which is a separate window, so I can't show it very easily. But it looks like a dark priest right here. Like the Fear and Hunger 1 look. Which is slightly interesting. I don't think it's what we're looking for. But, I don't think you see that type of dark priest outfit in the rest of the game. There's this, like, Bloodborne reference, supposedly. I haven't played enough of Bloodborne to know. Oh, look at this. It's over here, too. Weird. That's the dancing. There's all these cards. Doubt these would be like a secret. That don't make any sense. Oh, here's Pocket Cat. Oh, he's actually called Pocket Dan in the code. Huh. Okay. Fun. Probably nothing else in here. I mean, it's mostly corpses and stuff. Mausoleum Alley is, I feel like there should be more compared to what there is. It's just kind of like a nice looking place, but it's like there's two fights that are easily avoidable. I mean, I guess Mastermind is in here. Maybe that's the purpose. Like, I don't think you can even look at any of the graves. You really should be able to. You could put interesting stuff on there, but I don't think there is anything interesting, so... Okay, the museum... God, the museum. Not the museum. There's there's just so much stuff in here. Huh. I guess there's like code for more paintings to be placed here, but they aren't in yet, or... Anyway, I feel like it's not gonna be in the museum. Because that's too obvious, right? Everybody knows the museum has all this interesting stuff in it. There's this little thing. There's a bookshelf here, kind of. It's like a copy of the bookshelf event. Presumably this would have related to Pocket Cat, maybe? Or maybe there was supposed to be bookshelf, but Miro thought this painting looked better. There's another painting there. I guess I should look at the paintings. It's an interesting one. There's like a child standing, and there's a light being cast on them. I don't know. It's a bit low res. The paintings could definitely be something, but they're really hard to see, and this is obviously this is too important, this room. I feel like all of the exhibits are too important. The only thing that could be hidden is like a painting. So I'm just gonna go look at those. It's possible like some of the statues that don't have anything written could be something. There's more paintings. Is that... It looks a little bit like the monster from the first game that you find in Past Mahab that's already dead. Right? Like, it's kind of got like the wings and like the head. There's not too many lore implications of that. It's just like, oh, somebody made a painting of a creature that you thought was fictional when you found it in the first game, but it turned out to be real. It's like, okay, somebody made a painting of a fictional creature. That doesn't really do that much. Can you check the guests to see their animations? A lot of them don't even animate. They just like stand there. Yeah, I don't... This song has lyrics to it. We'll skip that one. Yeah, I don't think they have any animation. Yes, I think we're leaving the museum then. Ballroom. Yeah, probably nothing there. Ladder. It's a big ladder. Oh right, the temple site I was looking at before is the there's a combined version of the two maps and there's a separated version. So this is the one you actually see in the game. It's pretty similar though. It seems like it was mostly complete before it split. The extra lamp is gone. Osar can be found dead there if Needles kills him. There's more likely to be something here, but at the same time, this is just, you know, moon scorching near the tower and stuff like that. Complicated, but nothing secret. Pocket cat with a wheelchair. Here's where you can pick up the wheelchair, which I don't think there's any use for if you can pick it up there, but that's, I don't know, something. I wonder if the clock's out here. What time is the clock puzzle in the museum? Let's see. It is... Oh, the wiki page mentions what the paintings look like. The 3rd of May of 1808, Guernica, the Charge of the Lancers, the Battle of Alexandria at Issus, and Consequences of War. Okay. What time is the clock at? 13:35. Does this look at... That looks like the right time, actually. Right? It's close to it, at least. The hour hand might be slightly too far. Just looking at that angle, it looks like it might be... It looks like it's pointing at 2 even, but... I think that might be... I mean, that's definitely 35. So that might be intentional. That the clocks are left at the times that the museum clock needs to be set to. And Donovan's house. The mysteries here are too obvious. Except this one. This one, I don't know what this thing is. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is. But like, oh, this is like, oh, the sun got, you know, Miro's seen people talk about this. This is obvious. Nobody cares about that. Hollow Tower. The Moon Tower. The old hotel. Miro is a genius. Suitcases. Yeah, I don't think there's really any secrets to be had here. Dirty ashtray. Is that a secret? Maybe. Maybe. Oh, this drawer also has a description. There's an old hotel. I think it would be kind of fun if there's another floor to it. Oh, here we go. Huh. 14:35. That is closer to what the clock before was timed at. Let me just check what the museum people say, because I think one of them. Oh, it's hard to find, but like 25 until the next hour. I'm sure it's not 10 minutes. Just wondering, like, there's disagreement on what hour it is. Right, we've got the clocks outside of the museum say 14:35. The one in the museum is supposed to be set to 13:35. Do the people here give any hints as to why that might be? Like, do they say something about, oh, it's supposed to be an hour before the thing? I just haven't paid attention to him for a while. The happy mask salesman, obviously. Termina, Majora's Mask reference. Anyway. Okay, most of them don't say anything. Ugh. Yeah, this was a mistake. But I'm too interested. This could be something. The clocks are, like, slightly different. What does that mean? What does that mean? The hour of truth lies somewhere between 1 and 2. Okay. Interesting. The hour of truth sounds mysterious. It does. Yeah, you're correct. Oh, the season is definitely the month of sulfur, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. The sulfur, it's the one with a triangle, right? Right, a triangle inside a triangle. I should make a mod that swaps guest places just to confuse people. I don't think I should. Personally, I disagree. So, okay. They say it's the hour of truth. Huh. That's interesting. That doesn't do much for us, but the clocks outside of the museum are at 14:35, right? This clock and the big clocks nearby. The clock in the museum wants to be set to 13:35 or 1. They use the term 1, which is like the normal way, I'm pretty sure. But it specifies like which one. Anyway, here Karen can be found dead if killed by needles. That's fun. You can go on the roof here. I doubt that really has anything important to it. Oh, the chatter of the guests reminds me kind of the dialogue in King in Yellow. Yeah, I haven't read that book, but that could be relevant. They're like kept in a trance and just like talking about nothing, and it crashed. RPGmaker just crashes sometimes, but I don't know, and I can't do anything about that. Let me check if anything has happened on Reddit or Blue Sky. No, not really. Okay. So we were here. The church is going to be kind of difficult to search, but it does have a good chance of having something, so you gotta really look around. You get the same crashes on both games. I mean, well, this is RPGmaker MV crashing, not the games crashing, so it's different. The game's never crashed for me, I think. But I hear people that say it crashes often. The martyr that tries to overcome its idols. That's interesting. I do have an idea about that. Its idol. So Almer was trying to preach the old gods' religion. But when he died and became a god himself, it's kind of like he overcame the old gods. He was a martyr, and his idol was the old gods, and he overcame them. I don't think that's... this is a very obvious thing, but I'm just thinking about this a bit. I mean, when opening both games in the MV editor. Okay, well... I think RPGmaker just likes to crash. Like, sometimes there'll be... And Fear and Hunger is kind of like a high image resolution RPGmaker game. I'm wondering, that could be related. It's a very big one. Like, if you try to search the variable list, that will kind of crash. And it's got like 5,000 variables, so that might be why. Yeah, I don't know. I just normally deal with it because it's not that much crashing for me. Anyway, this is much too obvious. Because it's related to Almer. I think any Almer related mysteries are things people are going to be looking at. Staircases. Disgusting gore. That's fun. Why is there a ghoul here? Oh, yeah, the hanged one, okay. Yeah, this is a sword. Yeah, probably don't expect anything just up on the rafters here. Yeah, probably not. So this is the old version of the basement, actually. It's left over in the files. The layout's a bit different. It's like the main residual is here, and this wall is blocked. Somebody is spamming me with text messages. There's these little things still here. It's a bit smaller overall. Like the New Gods circle is there instead. It's not no big differences, but like, yeah, this wall is broken instead of there being a passageway through here. All the enemies are actually on the map this time, unlike before. There's more pools of blood. It's a bit bigger overall. And so the alternate layout is actually the Rare's Run version is based off of the old layout. And so it's inaccurate to the version we have in the game right now. So like the sigil is there. So it's like the sigil is here, and so then you go down here and here, and then you go left, right? And this is exactly... But like here you go left, and you can't go down. You're like down this hallway, and then you go here, and... I don't know. You can probably see what I'm talking about being different. So like this, oh yeah, you go down, and then you go left, and then you go up, and then you're at this room, right? And this is where you see... Yeah, look at this. It's exactly the same layout. Almost. This is a bit different, I guess. And then you've got this pool of blood here, and then you've got the golden gates up here. Kind of like this one. Anyway. I'll look at this version for anything hidden. I know there's a few, like... You can read a few pages of description down here, but I don't think there's much to these books. Don't think there's much to them. Samurai is supposedly able to end up in here, but I think this doesn't actually happen at any point in the game. I don't think she can actually end up in that cell. That was, I don't know, maybe a scrapped outcome. I wonder if the, like, does effigy mean anything? Like, I wonder what the winged statue means. Oh, huh. On hard mode, if you collect all the effigies, then that activates the gold rose. I don't know about that. I wonder what could lead to the game getting locked up. I feel like RPGmaker just isn't like a high quality program. You know, it just crashes sometimes. Okay, the statue. The statue... I know people have talked about the statue. And I know Miro has seen it. Because the statue shows up in in Mao the Duke's sulfur video. I wonder why somebody's burnt here. Why would there be a burnt body up here? Did somebody have a wizard duel at the top of the statue? like how did somebody wearing a Soul Devourer necklace get burnt to death up here? That's like, maybe like what if I overthink this? Like, what if this is a Sacrist to Grogoroth up here? Like, what if this is Nathra that did this, or like, I don't know. It seems ridiculous, but Yeah, I don't know. Passageway. Okay, the Crucifix of Almer, you can look at it. My throat is starting to hurt. I definitely have to stop soon. I think we're more than halfway through the game. Confessional doesn't have anything. The East Outskirts. What is here? I mean, there's the Bremen Soldier. There's this alleyway. Paper on it. Man, my throat is starting to not be as good at talking. And what if... Oh, combustion! Right. It's not combustion, it's so what do you call it? Spontaneous combustion, I think. Just looking it up right now. Spontaneous combustion, yeah. The highest form of pyromancy becomes the flame itself. Not a bad idea. This shack we looked at earlier, I'm actually going to look a little bit deeper into that. It's probably not the mystery he's talking about. But there's these 3 portraits of a young man throughout the city, and you can only have one at a time. When you pick up one, all the others will disappear until you use up the one. What if I just did that? That's also possible, yeah. And so you can have one in your... okay, there's a lot of noise outside. You use one in a ritual circle to the new gods, and then you summon the radiating one. And it's this portrait with his face scratched over. And I think there's something... So, like... I think there's kind of a story being told with them. So this apartment doesn't have anything else of note in it. At least not that you can look at. Although their neighbor does show up when you go in here, supposedly. So that's something. This is the place that summons a neighbor. So maybe the neighbors didn't like him. But what I was looking at that's interesting... I shared an apartment building with the beekeeper guy. Wow. So this is the 3rd location. He's got that old guard portrait again. Or, not portrait. Landscape, that's what I meant. This is where the other one is. And this place, I believe... Yeah, so this is a little bit out of the way. If you look at these shelves, which you wouldn't have much reason to, the shelves have various photographs of the resident and his friends. Or are they more than friends? In some photos, they do seem awfully close. So, like, it's... I think the story that's trying to be told here is that, like, this young man, who has pictures of himself, is friends with someone. And I suspect they probably lived here, just because there's no other reason for the portrait to be here. Especially the friend lived here, and then the friend, and then the young man in the portraits. Lived here, and had some pictures in this cabinet. Then again, I guess he'd probably take the pictures, wouldn't he? So it's I don't know. How empty is this apartment? It's kind of empty. Yeah, the apartment looked kind of nice for being so moldy. And then... Where is it? Is it this building? No, it isn't. I remember it being a kind of random map. Was it out here? I think it's out here. Shack 1, I think. And so this is near the lake. And you get this, and you have another portrait of him. And it has this, and it's like, I feel the rope tightening around my neck with each passing day. The city has always been narrow-minded and bigoted. If you don't follow the doctrine to a T, you'd be persecuted to no end. So, I think it's like he was planning to leave, and he brought all his. I mean, maybe he was packing up here. I don't know. Maybe he lived here. This is a weird place for him to live. I'm just wondering if there's like trying to make a connection between the portraits. My idea is like, oh, it could be 3 separate people, maybe, that are like, I don't know, random, yeah, not someone, various people. I don't remember what that was in specific response to, but like, is it one portrait? Is it a portrait that appears near like anybody that is socially like outcast a bit? I mean, the other guy had friends, so I don't know. Maybe this is separate. Maybe this person just lived here. Anyway, I am. I think that's all I can do for today. It's definitely more than half of the game, I think. Yeah, I was here. Why? Okay. Talking about the text in some kind of way. Oh, there's fire extinguishing equipment. Huh. Weird. Yeah, I just can't talk for this long, so, goodbye.